Alright guys, so today we're going to be going over anatomical planes and anatomical position. This is relatively simple stuff when it comes to anatomy and physiology, but it's pretty significant for understanding content that we're going to cover later on down the road. So we'll go through it pretty briefly here, get a sufficient understanding of what these terms are. In the next video we'll cover anatomical directions, and that'll pretty much be the foundation of anatomy that we feel we need to cover. These videos are going to go along with the slides that we post on Instagram, so if you want to refer to that, for a later time or during the video, feel free to do that. Alright guys, so the first plane here divides the body into left and right parts. It doesn't necessarily have to go directly down the midline of the body. If it does, then that would be termed a mid-sagittal plane, but that's not always the case. If we have a figure here, sorry for the bad drawing, I'm drawing with the mouse and I'm not very talented with that, but say you have a plane going down directly down there. You have 25% of the left body and 75% of the body divided into the right side. It's still a sagittal plane. It's not a mid-sagittal plane, but it is a sagittal plane because it divides the body into left and right sides. So keep that in mind. Really the only caveat with sagittal plane would be the inclusion of the mid-sagittal plane, but it has to go down the midline of the body right there. Alright, so the next one we have here is the coronal or frontal plane. This is a longitudinal plane that divides the body into front and back sections. You'll see here the word anterior, which means front side, and posterior, which means back side. These are terms that we're going to go over in our anatomical directions video, so I won't get into that and use those terms yet. But for those of you who knows those terms, like the back of your hand, you'll recognize that, and you can also use those terms, but just since this is our first video and we haven't gotten to that yet, we're just going to use the simpler terms. So you can see this plane here divides the body, midline through a horizontal way. So you have your skull, like your facial side there, and to your frontal side to the toes. And then on the back half, which is divided from the front half, you have your, the back of your cranium where your occipital bone would be, to your butt, don't know what happened there, to like the heels of your toe. So just remember the coronal or the frontal plane divides the body into front and back sections. Your final plane is going to be your transverse plane, which is a horizontal plane that divides the body into upper and lower sections. This is pretty simple, not much need to be drawn here. You can see it in this visual here that we had in our slide. You just have your horizontal plane here. Underneath it, you got your lower limbs, legs, knees, toes, foot. Above it, you have your upper limbs, your chest, your thoracic cavity, your cranial cavity, your upper limbs. So pretty simple. Up, low. Not much to go on there. Not a plane, but important, and since it's pretty brief, I wanted to talk about it in this video. The anatomical position, really when it comes to anything where someone refers to the term anatomical position, this is how they are describing the body, whether the body is in this position or they want the body in this position or whatever. This is what it is. So as you can see here in your visual, this cadaver of sort is facing forward. You can see he's facing us, usually facing us. They're standing upright. They have their mouth closed, neutral facial expression. They're not smiling, they're not sad. Just neutral. Arms straight down towards the hips. You can see that here. And the palms are going to be facing forward. So you can see he's facing us. Palms facing forward. It's facing away from us. Palm, you can see the back of the palm. Then the feet are together in the parallel, and the toes are facing forward. So you see the toes facing us, the feet are together, they're parallel, right next to each other. They're not diagonal, not sideways, anything. They're facing forward, they're together. And then in the case with the male, the penis is described as erect. So that's pretty much it for content here. Like I said, pretty brief, but important stuff to know. So I did include the quizzes here, just to go over them. Like I said, they're pretty easy, but for newcomers, this can be a little bit difficult to learn, so I just wanted to describe it, even though I do still use the same visuals as I used in the slide. I just kind of explained my thought process as if I had this question and I was trying to figure out what the answer is. So first things first, we're trying to figure out what the plane is. You see here that this plane goes down. What way is it dividing the body? Is it in the upper and lower sections? No. Is it into front and back? No. It's going to be left and right. So if we go back on our review of content and think about what divides the body into left and right portions, we're going to remember that, it's going to be the sagittal plane. In this case, it does look like it's going down the middle of the body, so it would be a mid-sagittal plane. But like I said earlier, any plane that goes directly down, it's going to be not directly down, but divides the body into left and right portions, going to be the sagittal plane. Alright, so here, same question, just a different picture. So you have the body into, looks like frontal and back sections. Once again, just remember your review of content. Is it your transverse? Well, no, because that divides it into upper and lower sections. Sorry, spelling with the mouse is not easy. Sagittal, no, it's going to be your left and right. Frontal, yeah. Frontal, if any plane is easy to remember, it should be the frontal plane. It's pretty much in the name. Frontal, front, and then back. Alright, so this one is going to be the only one left, but if that wasn't the case and you just had this one out of the blue, how's the body divided? Is it left and right? No. Is it front and back? No. It's going to be your upper and it's going to be your lower. So, transverse. These are pretty simple, should be relatively easy to grasp. If it's harder for you, that's okay. Just, spend some time trying to remember it. Whatever really helps you remember it. Mnemonics, whatever. Alright, and then the anatomical position question. So we see here which is not true. So keyword, let me get a white one here. Keyword not true. Alright, so for the anatomical position, are we looking for something where the body is facing forward? Well, we have the picture here, luckily, so we can see that the body is facing forward, so we know that's going to be true of the anatomical position, so we can cross it out. Arms straight down towards the hips. Once again, true. Palms facing backward. Well, if we zoom in here, you can see right here that the palm is going to be facing forward. It's going to be facing towards us. So right now we're kind of going to be leaning towards that. Body is standing upright. No chance. The body is standing upright, so that's not going to be the answer. That's that. If we didn't have the picture, then it would kind of come based off memory. But, it's really simple to remember. Just, take some time to learn it and, ingrain that stuff into your head. Not too often will this stuff come up, but still important to remember. What is going to come up a lot more, and especially in our review of bones and muscles, is going to be the anatomical directions, which we will cover here in the next video. So go look for that if you are hazy on that. If you got it, then you got it. Just wait for the next videos on starting on the bones, or after that the muscles, or whatever system you need help for. One thing I do want to say is, in no way do I claim to be the smartest person in the world. In no way do I know everything. I'm still learning things here. Even doing, at this time, just finished doing the bones content. I learned a lot doing that stuff in terms of terms and locations and stuff. So I will make mistakes. Believe that. Please forgive me when I do. I'm just doing my best to learn from myself, simplify what I learn, and put that out there for you guys, in case any of you are struggling as well. That's about it for this video. Once again, next one coming out is going to be the anatomical directions. Should have it posted here soon. Probably by the time you're watching this video, it'll be posted, because I doubt I get many views here initially. But yeah, that's it for this video. Appreciate you guys watching. Like and subscribe, or not, whatever. Peace.